Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be talking about NAK, so Northern Dynasty Minerals Ltd. I'm going to go through technical analysis and news on what I think about the stock. At any point while I'm going through technical analysis, if you're not getting the technical indicators, you'll find a playlist in the description below that explains each of them and what they mean. Let's jump right into it. So first things first, we look into the 1 month, 1 week perspective. 3 months, 1 week perspective. We get to see here at MACD that has been positive, gone negative around the 16th of August with a massive drop. I believe that was a tweet regarding Donald Trump Jr. And then it kind of stabilized a little, about $1. Now my last video was around this range here and then said that it would probably be around there on the $1 or so, and it did reach there. Now on the MACD, it's gone quite negative. It doesn't look like it's actually curving back up. It looks like it's just stabilized and it's a little bit stagnant. Now, when we go on through the ADX, it doesn't show that there is a strong trend here, and in fact, it just basically says that the sideways one is in fact the trend that we're in right now. William %R puts the stock at a neutral, so it's not oversold at this level, neither overbought, and we're looking at a momentum here that looks a little bit stable, although a little bit stagnant and lost a lot of power that it did have before. Now, on the moving averages, and this is the concerning part, not in the trading action zone anymore, it's actually below there. And the 10 SMA, the green line, is actually dipping closer to the red line. You can't see it here because the red line is closer to the blue line, but it looks like it can easily go from bullish to bearish. Right now, I would say 10 SMA is above 30 SMA, that's bullish. It's above the 50 SMA, that's bullish, but it's below the 200 SMA and the trading action zone. So it's 2 for 2. Now, if we were to look into a 1-day perspective, what we get to see here is something quite similar to what we've seen before. Now, the only difference is here is the ADX shows extreme sloppiness here. When we go on to the unbalanced volume, it looks like it's quite nice. William %R, it's actually heading a little bit closer to oversold. Although the MACD here, it looks quite interesting. It's been kind of on the positive side, but it's been trading sideways. It looks like it attempted to go through a negative reversal on the 30th. And it looks like it might see a bit of resistance and might not go towards that negative reversal, but that is not yet confirmed. Now, if we were to look into the momentum, it looks like it's actually stabilizing at that level, and that looks amazing. Now, if we were to look into the moving averages on the 1-day perspective, what we get to see here is that the stock price is below the 50 SMA, that is bearish, above the 200 SMA, bullish, 30 EMA is above the 10 SMA, that's bearish. So we're looking at, and the stock price is below the trading action zone. Trading action zone is very tiny. So we're looking at 3 to 1, bearish side. Now, if we were to look into a 1-hour perspective, and this is just merely for the next few hours if you're trading in towards Monday, so take this with a grain of salt. It looks like, when it comes in towards moving averages, it looks like we might get a golden star. That is a bullish sign. ADX is sloppy. William %R is neutral. Momentum and MACD looks just sloppy, so nothing significant there on the 1 hour, and it barely tells you anything. Now, if we were to look into the moving average band, what we get to see is on the bottom, it's expected to trade at the 93-cent mark, in the middle at the $1.04, and on the top is the $1.14. Now, if we were to look into Fibonacci Retracements, what we get to see here is there is a support at the 103 level and a resistance at the 117. Above there, 131, and below on the lower support on the Fibonacci Retracements at 86 cents. Now, let's try to look into supports and resistances. A significant support sits at the 102 mark, and then below that, we're looking at the 98-cent mark. Below that, we're looking at the 93-cent mark, and then the 91, and then the 87. If we were to look at resistances, what we get to see is there is a significant resistance at the 105 mark. Above there, we're looking at the 109 mark. Above there, the 111, and above there, 115. And the most significant one that's been tested twice already is the 123. Amazing. Now let's take a look into latest news. Now, one of the latest news comes in around September 26th about Trump signing an executive order for relations between the A2A cross-border rail between Alaska and Canada. So that could actually help out in terms of the future of the NAK Pebble mine, but it doesn't help it directly in that case. Now, when we're looking into different filings, now we get to see that the Pebble mine actually holds around 2.6 million kilogram plus 1.6 million kilograms of rhenium. I hope I spelled that right, pronounced that right. But it's the biggest of its kind. I believe the next one, next biggest one, would be 3.8 million kilogram, and then the one after that is 2.76. So that's based on their technical report. Now, another thing is that the CEO has resigned, and of course that is interesting there. I do believe that he is the second CEO to actually resign. I'm not 100% sure, because I tried to go back in terms of reports, but I couldn't find it, so I'll disregard that. But if we were to look into why he resigned, it doesn't look that good. Now, in terms, okay, there you go. State legislators, legislative leaders asked Dunkley not to help Pebble mine, and this is regarding the CEO. And apparently there is things that the CEO did in terms of trying to go around the actual normal process with the governor. And here's a quote of them saying, "Just because between us guys, I had 2 hours a one-on-one meeting with the governor when all this came up a month ago to walk him through this and to get the commitment that we would be there. And now we're working with his department, natural resources, and they are being very cooperative and working with us." And so the statement that they actually came up with is, "Our former CEO was caught on tape talking about the project, elected officials, and United States Army Corps of Engineers in a way that was boastful. That was insensitive and clearly embellished." So basically that is why he resigned. He was caught red-handed on that. Now that is a very much frowned upon action when it comes into the engineering industry. Looking into institutional buyers, what we get to see on the 29th all the way back to the 25th, that seems to be where September actions are going. And usually these are where the ETFs have changed on and off, so nothing significant in terms of institutional buyers. Now this is the same thing about the resigns over taped comments. There is as well some, I'm not sure about the legitimacy of this report, but it does say that instead of going on for 20 years, they wanted to do it 180 to 200 year mine life. Although this was coming in as well from Seattle News, so, and when I checked, it's more of around left center, so I'm not 100% sure because I'm trying to look for the least biased reports from news, so that's very important when you're doing your stocks and stuff. Now another thing here is they issued a technical report, and that was on October 2nd, so yesterday, and it just basically said that they have the world's most significant uranium resources. And another thing is that Donald Trump has declared a national mineral emergency in science in order to boost domestic mining, and that includes as well effect into the Pebble mine. Now, how do I think it's actually going to be playing, and what's the next move on this one? Now, the concerning thing is that it's actually been playing sideways. That is a little bit of a dangerous sign. Now, what I want to do, what I want to see is that it actually breaks that 114 mark and it joins in back to the top where it was. Now, this does look like a head and shoulder, but it didn't really play as I thought. It was more of a burst of a tweet. But it could be a nice time to actually hold or average down while it's above $1. Below $1, that might be a little bit of dangerous zone. I'll definitely put my stop limits around the 86 cent mark. Now, is there a future for this one? I do think there is, although there is a lot of politics coming into it, and then election is coming in, so I do think that politics will probably not be very much biased into it at this level, just because they're busy into trying to cover their seats. But I do think that we might actually see a little bit of advancements in terms of coming in towards reports and whatnot. If an investigation is to be added into the CEO as with the previous CEO, and the company itself about the relations with the governor, that will be a negative impact. But so far from what it looks like, it's hitting negative and positive impacts at the same time, positive news, and that's why it's not crashing or rallying up really high. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention that in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.